What's up, Wyatt? Here we are down at Pro Windsurf La Ventana. Wyatt Miller is the brand manager for Slingshot in the wind sport category. I think one of the things that's been so interesting is the evolution of this sport. Year over year, there's always something, a little bit something more coming out and changing. Last year, we talked a little about to use harnesses or not to use harnesses. This year, we're seeing some evolution, some of the handles on some of the wings. Maybe we can talk about the pros and cons, you know, as you think about handle evolution.
Yeah, so basically you got three options when it comes to handles. You got the classic soft handles, which are really nice because it's kind of like having a cushy Cadillac ride. It's less sensitive to input from the rider, so oftentimes for, you know, kind of a beginner intermediate, having that suspension-y feel and being less super direct and harsh in the control of a soft handle is really nice. Obviously they pack up really well, which is great. Then you've got the boom, like our Javelin boom wing. That allows you to just put your hand anywhere you want. You can ride one-handed, which is really nice. I even on toe side will tuck my arm in the boom and just kind of hold it with one hand and my arm tucked in there. But it gives you just the widest degree of control with your hands. And then something new for this spring and summer is the Slimwing V3 hard handle that we just launched at Slingshot. Really my favorite part about the hard handles is this elevated pistol grip front hand. So if you see the front handle in the front has a longer elevated angled pistol grip. And what this does is when I'm riding and I'm just trying to ride down swell, instead of grabbing that left handle, often I'll take my back hand and just grab the pistol grip there. This does two things. One, it's not as far to go. I don't have to go as far as that nose handle. Two, it allows me to use my wrist while I'm luffing to sheet the sail in a tiny little bit or sheet it out. So I can actually regulate a little bit of power by pulling in that trailing edge or letting that trailing edge up, which is something I can't do with the soft front handle there. The other thing that little bit of power regulation with the pistol grip does is sometimes when you're going straight downwind, that trailing edge wants to fall down, and then the trailing edge is in your way. The wing is just more in your way. When you've got that pistol grip front handle, I can just flex my wrist a little bit to keep that trailing edge up and keep it out of my way, so I have vision down there downwind of me, and it's not just flagging and dropping in front of me, kind of stopping me from making my turns. You know, it's all personal preference. I still really like the boom, but there is something really nice about that angled front hand pistol grip you see there on the Slimwing V3 hard handle. It just makes it easier to regulate some power when you're luffing down the wave and keep that trailing edge out of your way.
So Wyatt, one of my favorite things of being down here, not just to see the new products and do that, but I also get to learn a lot from you. I think it was like when I moved down leader count, again up on the board, you kind of gave me some tips about how to kind of, you know, hunch under it to stabilize myself. Let's talk a little bit about jumping. Because some of these handles, it's gotta be pretty fun to jump. If somebody thinks that they're ready and it's time to begin jumping for wing foiling for them, not only do they need foot straps, but what else should they think about so when they do it for the first time, they do it safely?
So jumping on a wing is definitely one of my favorite parts. You get that like really good hang time. You've got kind of a parachute above you to make it softer as you're falling back towards the earth. But a couple of the really good points are the more you get into jumping, the more you're going to start moving your foil further and further forward on your board. And when you actually see the guys on the PWA, you'll notice that they ride their back foot in front of the back foot strap almost the whole time they're riding until they're ready to do a trick, and then they put it in that back foot strap. And that's because they've moved their foil so far forward that they actually need to be standing in front of that back foot strap to keep the thing in the water. And then because their foil is so far forward and they're pushing on their front foot so much to keep it down, when they throw their back foot in the strap and they shove down on their back foot, you have a ton of reaction to bring the foil up into the air. If you're somebody who likes to ride with your foil further back and you're pushing on your back foot a lot of the time to get it to keep flying, then if you've got your foil further back and you have to push on your back foot all the time, then when you go to jump and you crank down on your back foot, it doesn't have the same amount of reaction as it does when your foil's further forward and you're standing on your front foot the whole time to keep it down. Now I go to push on my back foot, it has a ton of reaction and goes straight up into the air. So one of the big tips if you're trying to jump higher and get into the jumping a lot is to start sliding that foil a little bit further and further forward to get it to be more reactive. The next thing when you're jumping is as you're cranking off that back foot, sheet in and throw the wing high and up above your head. and really just focus on trying to keep that board straight under your body. If you're leaning way back in the sail or way back towards the tail, then that foil can get kind of out from under you. You want to keep the board straight under you with the foil pointing straight down when you're in the air. So as you go into the air, throw your wing up, tuck up on your front leg, and then as you're dropping back down, just really think about landing flat on that board, keeping the foil straight, pointing straight down and straight under you. You don't want to get off balance to one side or the other. You want that baby right under you.
And what about sizing the foot straps?
I've been teaching windsurfing clinics for years and years and years, and I always told people, well, if they're only meant to put your toes in there, would they not have called them toe straps? So I've broken both my feet in foot straps, so you probably shouldn't listen to me at all. But the one thing I've learned is that both times I broke my feet, I had too tight a foot strap that was either put on recently or just adjusted, and I was thinking to myself, oh, the next run, next time I fall in, I'm gonna make these a little bit bigger. And so what happens when people break their foot in the foot strap, everybody's worried that, you know, their foot slides in the foot strap, that they're gonna fall forward over the board and their foot's not gonna pop out. But that's not actually what happens when you break your foot in the foot strap. I'd say 85% of the time, it's actually rolling to the side is what happens to break and you break these metatarsals right here in your foot. And so if your foot strap's really tight and your foot rolls to the side, the foot strap is pinching down, and that's what crushes the metatarsals. It's not falling forward and having your foot not released, because my hips, my knee, my ankle all bend forward really well, but it's when you twist to the side that it crushes those metatarsals. So I think that having a big foot strap is better than a small foot strap. My theory is that I'd rather come out when I don't want to than not be able to get out when I really, really need to. If I fall in some weird twisted position, I'd like my foot to be able to roll to the side. I'm not worried about falling forward over the board, you know, forward and not having my front foot come out. I'm worried about twisting in the strap. So I think that a bigger foot strap is better than a smaller foot strap. You can learn how to stay in a foot strap that's bigger than you're used to. You cannot learn how to get out of a foot strap that you're already stuck in. So learning to stay in can be just moving your feet out to the side. That'll really lock you in a big strap. So a lot of times right before I go do a trick, I'm just pivoting my feet to the outside and just locking myself in there. But to me, bigger foot strap's much safer than a smaller foot strap.
Wyatt, thanks. What I find is, you know, anytime I can get with Wyatt, I always learn a ton. Coming down here to Pro Windsurf La Ventana is always, whether it's quads, whether it's the food, whether it's just hanging out, getting great pro trips. I come back from these trips a better wing foiler, maybe even a better person. I don't know. Wyatt, it's great. It's always good to see you. Wyatt Miller from Slingshot, as well as Pro Windsurf La Ventana. Thank you so much for those tips. I love being down here riding the gear. Thanks so much. Check out our other videos, and we'll talk to you soon.